Hey guys, welcome back. So I've had this question before. A lot of guys always ask, how do you get the rear glass out of the back door? So today I'm going to show you how do you hit this back glass out of these rear doors for a crew cab OBS. Now this can be a real task, I can tell you that much, especially doing this by yourself, especially if you have a smashed door like what's on the other side. So the first order of business is going to be we have to take most of these rivets out. So we're going to go ahead and count how many we got here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's missing, so this would be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 quarter-inch rivets that you need to remove out of this door so that you can take everything off. And there's another one down here that we've also already removed, and that is for the door lock actuator. Which is right there. So I already drilled that one out in anticipation of doing this. So we're going to go ahead and start working on getting this out of there. So follow along. I'll show you the steps that you have to take, and we'll go ahead and start getting these rivets out. So the first thing you have to do is you got to take a punch and smack out each and every one of these. The only one that you can leave is this one. It'll stay with this metal bracket. That'll be one less rivet you got to drill and one less rivet to put back in. First order of business is going to be grabbing a punch here, and this is an 1/8 inch punch. So you got to punch these out. That one sucked to get out. So like I said, we're using an 1/8 inch punch. That one sucked to get out. We're using an 1/8 inch punch for these. Can't really go much bigger than that, so. Some of them go pretty easy. So those are the ones you need to get out. Like I said, this one's already gone. So these are the ones you need to get out to get this handle off of here. This one up here is for your door lock up here. Okay. And then these 4 that are a little bit harder to see, those are for your window regulator. So we can keep this one in here because it'll just stay attached to this metal bracket. So if you had this rivet here, you would need to take this handle off to get the rivet out. So I use a step bit for these. Sometimes you have to take like a pair of pliers and hold the rivet because it wants to spin. So we'll go ahead and drill these out. So as you can see, the first one I try here, it wants to spin. So just like that, you're drilling out these rivets. And this can be a process sometimes because they like to spin. Sometimes you just gotta get angry at them. So with those ones drilled out, you have access to this rod here, okay? And you have to pull your wiring harness off, like so. And you can work this off of here sometimes. So like this one doesn't want to come off here. So we'll have to pull the handle off. And this is pretty easy to get off of here. So that just slips on and off that rod. You can go ahead and put all this back together in case you're worried about losing stuff. So since we're going to be tearing these doors apart and leaving them apart for a little while, we're going to go ahead and put all this stuff back together to make sure we don't lose any pieces and parts. Okay. So we still have to take the window regulator out. However, this is our first step here, and there's one more rivet. So as you can see, there's none that we haven't punched out yet. We drilled these couple out. There is one at the bottom of the door. So I'll go ahead and show that to you here. See if we can get the camera to stay where I want it. So there's a rivet right here. So we got to punch that one and drill that one out too. So that rivet there is for this rod here. Okay, so your regulator arm, which you can kind of see here, is on the slide, okay, and it rotates down like this. Okay, this support rod here holds the other side of the window from shifting. So we got that one punched out. We'll go ahead and drill it too. So with that drilled, that makes this inner rod or inner support loose. All right. So this is where this is going to start to get really, really tricky, because everything has to come out of the door but the glass. So your seals, your tracks, the door lock actuator, it all has to come out before the window. So go ahead and loosen up your tracks. Now I've only done these doors a couple times, so there may be a better way to do this. However, this way works. So go ahead and finish disconnecting your harness and unplug your window motor. Now, the next thing I can suggest doing is drilling this rivet here for your door lock and trying to get it out of the actual lock assembly. So there are latches there. So this is the one for the other side. And as you can see, there's a latch right here, so you have to thumb this over the rod okay, which can sometimes suck. But that's all that holds that rod in there. So when you thumb this piece of plastic off the top of the rod, you can pull it straight out, and installation is the same way. So that's all that is, and as you can see, this is the other side. So we're going to go ahead and pull that rod out now. So drill this rivet. And then you'll have to do this in here by feel and thumb that piece of plastic over. And literally it can hang out for now because it's going to screw you, this rod will screw you up for getting this door latch assembly out. Okay, so I had said we drilled out the door lock actuator. So that rivet is still stuck in the door. Just take your punch and just give that little bit of a rivet a smack there. And then you can go ahead and have that door lock actuator free. Your next step is going to be removing the door handle. So there's two bolts, actually one nut and one bolt through these two large holes there, and they are 10 millimeters. So you'll go ahead and take those off. So here's your nut. Now this back one's kind of bad to get to because of the door seal. So trying to move it out of the way a little bit. And that's okay if it falls down in because it's easily retrieved along with all the other aluminum pieces if you need to. But this door lock will pull out like so. The door lock rod is messing me up at the moment. This one also has a thumb over. So as you can see, same thing. You just thumb it over, and the piece of plastic you fall was the gasket for the door handle. So I'll put this nut back on here. I'll retrieve that bolt out of there a little bit later. So the only thing attached to this door assembly latch is the actuator down here, and just a couple extra little rods here. So like this one here that goes to the door latch on the inside, and then your one that goes to the outside latch. So at this point, you should be able to get this door latch out of here without too much of a hassle. So these are a number 3 Phillips head. So always make sure you have good pressure on here when you're taking these out because they are blue Loctited in. So make sure you get these out. Then your door latch assembly will come out along with your lock actuator. So these all come out as a unit, which is nice. So now your latch is out, and then this rod is still in here. It'll come out a little bit easier once we take the regulator out. So now the only thing we have left in here is a regulator, your window seals, front and rear, or I'm sorry, inside, outside, and then your whole window seal. Okay, so now we're going to want to put this window down halfway. All right, sorry for that. We had a little hiccup. The regulator was a little stuck. Okay. All right, so we have the window down about halfway. And this is where our power probe is really handy to have. Like I said, this rod is still becoming an issue, but it's out of the way. So if you were trying to take the door latch assembly out with this rod in, it still causes a problem. All right, so there's 2 nuts in here. So let's see if we can get you to see them in there. So there's 2 nuts. So those hold the glass assembly to the centerpiece here, and then you can see over here, that's your regulator slide. So once you remove those 2 nuts, that window will be free to slide up and down. But before we do that, we're going to put this window all the way down and take the seals out. So we have the window all the way down here. If you can get these out, then you can take them out now. Sometimes you have to reach up in here and it's not real easy to do. So we're going to go ahead and try to get these out. So there's little latches that hold these on, and there is metal in these. And if you have a crew cab, and obviously you do because you're watching this video, these are kind of hard to come by, so try to not destroy those. So now that you have the inside sweep out, you can go ahead and pull your seal out of the door, like so. Okay, and then your metal track will go down, like so. Okay. Stick it out of that hole like that. Just keep pulling this out. Okay. So at this point, you can kind of look through the top and work this out. So this is a little assembly there that goes inside for the door latch. So it would be this way. So as you pick up on it, you know, it would move this way and so on and so forth. So don't lose these obviously either. All right. So with the window all the way down, we got the seals out. So we're going to go ahead and put this window halfway back up. These are just reverse polarity. So see, it's kind of wonky. All right. So you could take these nuts off of here now. Now this is where having an extra person is going to be extremely handy, because this window wants to come out. You have to hold this window. Okay? So as you hold this window, you have to take the regulator out. So I took this across the center track and I just laid it down in the door. So we're going to try to get this out of here without having to take the regulator out. So as you can see there, I spun that window 90 degrees and out it comes. All right, so really, really crazy how that works, but there is enough room. But when you're in there like this, so you have to rotate the front to the back. And on the other side, it would be the other way, because you have to rotate front to back, just because of how this track is on here. All right, so that's how you get your rear glass out of your crew cab OBS rear door. So we're going to go ahead and finish this video off by getting the rest of these pieces out. That way you guys can see the full changeover for the regulator. So at this time, you can go ahead and pull your track out the rest of the way. So we'll just get this out of the way for us here. And the only thing left to do now is take this regulator out. And then also we have the center track down here that needs to come out as well. So here's the center track, and it goes inside the door like this. So it just rides up and down this track. Actually, it's this way, I'm sorry. Rides up and down this track, and here's your rivet hole. So the only thing left to do now is, since your regulator is halfway down, go ahead and you can drill out your last 4 rivets. So you can see that regulator fell. So what you can do with your last one here, if it wants to spin, you can actually hold this regulator and put tension on that rivet. Sometimes that works. Today is not one of those days. So we're not too worried about the paint on these doors. So, you know, I'm kind of being a little bit rough with this. However, once you get your regulator off of there, it comes out just like so. So, that's a regulator. Now, like I said, these are 1/4 inch rivets. So if you need to replace this for some reason, then replacing it is as simple as putting new rivets in here to hold this regulator assembly. So thanks for watching, you guys. Hopefully this will show you guys how to get the rear window out of a crew cab door. It's very involved. An engineer definitely thought it up. So, you know, if you don't have the right tools to get the stuff pulled out or put back together, you know, we have a lot of rivets to put back in when we go to reassemble doors. So make sure you have 1/4-inch rivets and a 1/4-inch rivet gun, because you don't want to be cutting wires and trying to use bolts and everything like that. It just makes it really difficult. So thanks for watching, you guys. We'll catch you on the next one.